dear students, myself Gangadhar Solanke, and I welcome you all to the MCGM's virtual classroom. My dear students, today in Standard 10's Geography, we'll be learning the topic population in the Geography of Standard 10th. We have already learnt the topics field visit, location and extent, physiography and drainage, climate, natural vegetation and wildlife, and today we are going to talk about the concept of population and the things related with it. As we all know, population is an important resource of any country. The qualitative aspects of a population are important for nation's economic, and not only for the economic, and for social progress. So here one thing which is very important to consider, that population is nothing but the resource for any country to progress, and it is very important that this resource must be qualitative, or the qualitative aspects of a population which is important for nation's economic and social progress. Now here in our textbook, figure 6.1a and figure 6.1b given. The 6.1a is of India, distribution of population, and the 6.1b which is of India, population density. And questions based on this are given, that states with highest population density. So for that you have to refer the figure and answer the questions. Here you can see states with lowest population density and states with highest population density. Now by using this given information, you can answer these questions, and on the basis of the maps given, classify the distribution population in India, and for that the table is given. So here again you can use this information and states with lowest population density. Now here these colors which you have to refer, first one less than 100, then the 101 to 250, then 251 to 500, and more than 500. So states with lowest population density, if you have to give, then this first one, so this one, Jammu and Kashmir, this, all these things, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Chandigarh and Uttarakhand, and then it's increasing in Rajasthan, in Madhya Pradesh and in Chhattisgarh. Also in the less than 100 you can add Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram. So all these things are there which you can use given map or given figure for this. And now the next one, census of India in the 2021 census consider persons up to 18 years as children. Now this is the thing. Now here India's population is around 121 crore according to census of 2011, and India is the second most populous country in the world. 2 नंबर पे है हम पॉपुलेशन के हिसाब से अगर देखा जाए तो, एंड 2011 के नंबर्स को अगर हम देखेंगे तो 121 करोड़ हमारा population है. So here in this figure you can see First is China, 18.5, and then India, and then US, Indonesia, Brazil. You can go further. India occupies only 2.41% of the land area of the world, whereas it supports 17.5% of the world's population. It means that अगर पूरे अर्थ के लैंड का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन देखा जाए तो we only occupies 2.41%. But if we talk about the population, we are 17.5%, we Indians. And there you can see India's average population density is 382 persons per square kilometer as per 2011 census. 382. Here again, by using this information we can observe this map, population density in square kilometer according to the census of India 2001. But as per the 2011, India's average population density is 382 persons per square kilometer. In India, population is very unevenly distributed, and it is unevenly distributed because of the physiography, climate, and play an important role. Two things, physiography and climate, which play an important role in the distribution of population, and due to the fertile land, plain land, and availability of water, human settlements have been established in these parts for many centuries. Because while settling, it is very important to see all these facilities are easily accessible or available or not. जैसे हम कहीं पर घर चेंज करना होता है, यहाँ पर कहीं पर हमें घर लेना होता है, तो हम ये सारी चीज़ें देखते हैं कि वहाँ पर पानी अच्छे से आता है कि नहीं आता है, वहाँ से स्कूल बच्चों के लिए नज़दीक है या दूर है, पापा मम्मी अगर जॉब पे जाते हैं तो उनका जाना आना वहाँ से कितना नज़दीक है कितना नहीं है. एंड इफ़ इट इज़ द थिंग ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर, खेती होती है, खेती करनी है, तो वहाँ पर भी सोर्स ऑफ वाटर देखा जाता है, लैंड की फर्टिलिटी क्या है वो देखा जाता है. सो ऑल दिस थिंग्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट और प्ले एन इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल in the settlement of human being. So due to farming, industries and trade, the proportion of the population got concentrated in few places. And if we talk about the examples, then Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, Chennai, etc. And it is very simple to understand because we people are living here in Mumbai. तो मुंबई में इतना सारा पॉपुलेशन है और आजू बाजू में इफ़ वी टॉक अबाउट द मुंबई, प्रॉपर मुंबई, तो वहाँ पर हमें फार्मिंग या फर्टाइल लैंड भी कहीं पर नहीं दिखती है, फिर भी लोग वहाँ पर है. इट इज़ बिकॉज ऑफ ऑल द इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया और द वर्क अपॉर्चुनिटीज और जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज इन द फील्ड ऑफ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ सर्विसेज. Here you can see the northern plains of the country like Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, Chennai, etc. And on the contrary, in mountainous or hilly regions, dry desert areas, dense forest areas, density is sparse, वहाँ पर कम लोग होते हैं because of inaccessibility of absence of facilities and tough life. Easily accessible या available कुछ वहाँ पर नहीं होता है. So people don't think about settling down there. That's why in the urban areas nowadays population or the density of population is increasing. Here you can see agriculture, industrial areas. If there is problem with the water, then also people think about settling down, and the areas where water is easily available. Maybe it is for the purpose of agriculture or of any different purpose. Then the same thing next to the figure 6.1a and figure 6.1b, we have figure 6.2a and figure 6.2b of population distribution in Brazil and population density in Brazil. On the basis of these two figures, you have to solve the questions which are again given like the Indian questions based on this information. In which area is population great concentrated? In which area is the distribution of population sparse? Prepare a note on factors responsible for the uneven distribution of population based on study of Brazil you have made so far. जितना भी हमने पिछले लेसन्स में पढ़ा है. And then identify the type of map showing distribution. So you people can solve these questions by your own by using given information in the maps. Question just now we talked about this. Brazil is the most populated country in the South American continent, and with a population of around 19 crores. According to census of 2010, it ranks 5th in the world. Now just try to compare this. We Indians are 121 crore and second number if you talk about the rank wise distribution of population. 121 करोड़ हमारा पॉपुलेशन है और हम सेकेंड नंबर पे है, वेयर एज ब्राज़ील का पॉपुलेशन सिर्फ 19 करोड़ पे है और वो 5th नंबर पे है. एंड द इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग वन मोर, इट इज ऑल्सो द 5th इन द वर्ल्ड विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू एरिया. So Brazil occupies 5.6% of world's total land, जो कि हमारे पास कितनी है, only 2.41, और 2.41 की लैंड पे हम लोग 121 करोड़ लोग रहते हैं. एंड इफ यू टॉक अबाउट द ब्राजील, इट ऑक्युपाइज 5.6% ऑफ द वर्ल्ड्स टोटल लैंड एंड द पॉपुलेशन इज ओनली 19 करोड़. And therefore, the density of population is around 23 persons per square kilometer. And what about India? It is 382. See the difference. 382 कहाँ है और 23 कहाँ है? So the population density in Brazil is around 23 persons per square kilometer, and in India's average population density is 382 persons per square kilometer. Next thing. Now one more thing here to understand about the population of Brazil. The distribution of population is very uneven like in India. The majority of Brazilians have concentrated within 300 kilometers of the eastern coastal area, also called the coastal lowlands. Here in the map you can easily understand this. Here you can see, or in this map also easily you can understand. Less than 50 in yellow color. ये जो पूरा येलो दिख रहा है यहाँ पर less than 50 है population density. And by this you can understand कि पूरी की पूरी जगह जो है वो खाली है वहाँ पर. So agriculture and industries have flourished in this area only, in the coastal lowlands. Density of population is found in this particular area, and on the other hand the interior in the Amazon basin is very sparsely populated. And why? Because of unfavorable climate, heavy rainfall, accessibility and dense forests are the barriers to development of human settlements here. And therefore Settlements occur only in few places in the Amazon basin. So here one more thing, for the settlement of population all these things play an important role, like favorable climate होना चाहिए, rainfall which should be ऐसा कि जहाँ पर लोग रह सके. The central and western part of Brazil is less populated. Here you can see. The density of population in the highlands of Brazil is moderate. And now we are going to talk about the different types of graphs. And here is the first one, as you can see on the screen. What does this graph show? This graph shows the sex ratio of Brazil and India. Here the first one is of Brazil and the second one is of India. What does it show? This graph shows the sex ratio. Now the question is, what is a sex ratio? So sex ratio means the number of females per 1000 males in region. किसी एक particular region के बारे में अगर हम बात करेंगे, so per 1000, suppose these are 1000, तो उनके कंपेयर में या फिर पैरेलली कितनी फीमेल वहाँ पर है उसका जो रेशो होता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड सेक्स रेशो. It is evident from the graph that the number of women in Brazil have always been more. Here again you can see, it is evident from the graph that the number of women in Brazil have always been more than men, while in India they have never been more than men. Here you can see this graph, more than 1000 and it is going up. If we talk about India, it starts with the 940 and it is going somewhere down, somewhere up, but not more than 1000. And by this we can conclude the sex ratio of Brazil has been more than 1000 since decades. Considering the sex ratio of Brazil, the number of women have considerably increased than men since 2001. But in India, men outnumber women, and in India we see fluctuations, मतलब change हो रहा है number में, in the sex ratio since few decades, and there has been a slight increase in the sex ratio after 1991. Here after 1991 थोड़ा सा ऊपर जाता हुआ हमें वो लाइन जो है वो दिख रही है. So keep in mind, whenever we talk about sex ratio, it is nothing but the number of females per 1000 males in region. Now the next one, again this graph looks different, and this graph is about age and sex of population. It is also known as population pyramid because it looks like pyramid, so it is called population pyramid. And at the same time, in this pyramid we can see age and sex of the population. What is the use of this graph? For this we'll go for the next slide. So it is used to study the age and sex related aspects of a region's population, which mean that we can know the number or percentage of various age groups of males and females in our country, and this helps us to know the proportion of children, youth and the world people in our country. If you go back for this slide, then you can see here age group is given, and by this we can understand, and this one is male and this one is of females. तो यहाँ पर एक सेंटर लाइन है जिससे हमें पता चलता है कि इस पर्टिकुलर एज के कितने मेल है, इस पर्टिकुलर एज की कितनी फीमेल है. Next thing, now in this pyramid we can see that the number of young people is more in both the countries, but the proportion of children proportion of children is more in India here, while proportion of people in the age group than above 80 years India is more in Brazil. Next one, considering the age of population, Brazil's population is getting slowly older, धीरे धीरे older, but in India the situation is different. The proportion of youth in India is more, and that is why India is nowadays called as country of young people. This means India has a higher working population, or we can talk about qualitative population here. जितना ज़्यादा working population है उतनी देश की ग्रोथ, देश का प्रोग्रेस, देश की डेवलपमेंट होने की चांसेस होते हैं. सो क्वालिटेटिव पॉपुलेशन और वर्किंग पॉपुलेशन प्ले वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल इन द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ एनी कंट्री. Then next one, what do these graphs show again? Their graphs show the growth rate of a population of Brazil and India, and here you can see the growth rate line of Brazil and growth rate line of India. Here one more thing, we can see the graph line is going down, but it doesn't mean that the population is not increasing. The line show a downward trend. It doesn't mean population is decreasing. It shows that the growth is lesser than the previous decade. In 1990 जितनी थी उससे कम हो रही है, 2001 में जितनी थी उससे कम हो रही है, लेकिन वो पूरी तरह से पॉपुलेशन जो है वो डाउनवर्ड ट्रेंड दिखा रहा है ओनली कंपेयर टू द लास्ट सेंसस. So it doesn't mean that the population is decreasing. This means that the growth is less, and looking at the trend in the near future, Brazil's population may decrease. But this is not the condition in India. This means the average number of years a person born in a country is expected to live. This is now the chart of life expectancy. This means that we Indians live for 68 years on an average. 68 years here. And if we talk about Brazil, Brazilians live for 75 years. So the average age or life expectancy there in Brazil is 75, and in our country it is 68. The life expectancy of India was around 41 years in 1960, but now it has increased and it will continue to increase in future. And behind that there are a number of reasons. It is increasing because improvement in medical facilities, progress in medical field, access to nutritious food leads to an increase in average life expectancy. In most of the developing countries, life expectancy is still less, but with socio-economic development, it is increasing. And this one again, one more is given about the literacy rate. So what you have to do by using this figure 6.7, write a similar conversation using the graphs in figure 6.7 based on earlier conversations. जो conversations हमने 6.3, 6.4, 6.5, 6.6 में देखे, on the basis of that you have to write a similar conversation and compare literacy rate between Brazil and India. Please subscribe the channel and press bell icon to get notifications. So my dear students, this is all for today. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, take care.